Hey there guys, I'm Bo Lorentzen, and today I want to take you through the Flex Modified Ultra Kandao QooCam 3 Ultra Modified, this one by Siyang. Before I get started with that, I'm gonna come back to real quickly. These two cameras here, they're really cool. Slam camera is shipping, and also the CAF2. I'm not so keen on them still not having fixed the dropped frames, and this one also have a bit of a problem. Let's get back to them. We're gonna start out by talking about the Flex today, and I'm gonna try to take this picture here and throw it into a 180 VR project, because you have to put on your VR headset and look around and see the full 180 in order for me to demonstrate to you what these lenses do. So if you haven't already noticed, up in the corner here, you're seeing the indicator that this is a 180 VR. And go grab your Quest headset, Apple Vision Pro, whatever, put it on, and start the video again, because in the headset you're going to be able to see some of the sample shots from this and the explanation better. So what I did here was put a screw down below, and if you take a look at my stock unit, it doesn't have that, and it also doesn't have the little extra frame. Other than that, they are almost identical in size. You can see right there, the stock one is a little bit narrower, but the extra couple of millimeters here give you a lot of flexibility. Yeah, I take mine out on sailboat, so there's a lot of fluffy fur on here. One of my favorite features is the bubble level on the back, because you get a lot from the stabilization, but if the camera rolls too much, it cannot be stabilized out, because even though you can straighten the image, it's gonna look like the one eye is higher than the other, and when you get it in the headset, it's gonna look really funky. So you wanna use this, and you always wanna keep the bubble level, then it can take out the shakings and whatnot. All right, back to the main subject today. This is the Flex, and the Flex has the ability, of course, to go out here or back in here. And to get an idea what it really does is you can get closer, but you can also get a little more pop. It's not a whole lot, it's about 10 millimeter more out here. So it's like there, I have moved 10 millimeters further out in my face. I would look really funny if that was really true. And it does change the feeling of scale a little bit. The more you move it out, the more far away things comes closer to you. And you should really take a look at Siyang's Be a Giant in New York video, because he's using 130 millimeter. And that really shows you that feeling that you're looking at a little display case with teeny little dolls of humans walking around. But let's get back to this. Here, I grabbed a picture of the TV tonight while I was watching Netflix. And if you look at this girl's face, you'll see her eyes are all together because she's looking at that handsome guy up in the corner there. And if I grab something like my fingers and move them in, I'm sure you can see my eyes go cross-eyed. The thing about cross-eyed is we do that, but if you start moving your fingers in, you start getting uncomfortable about here, about a foot, maybe 18 inches. Cameras get a little more complicated, because when we sit in the headset, it feels uncomfortable to tweak your eyes in, partially because you don't have full field of vision inwards in the headset. So if you're gonna get closer, like up to about less than a foot, you can help the audience feel more comfortable by moving this camera in further. So now the spacing, when you come up close, the eyes are not gonna be pitched in as tightly. Now there is another way you can also cheat this a little bit. And let me show you this screenshot here. This is just any picture. I have it on my laptop, and Kandao really needs to update this with a, what is that called? Anaglyph overlay of the two images so that you can pick where it should be easy to see. And if you look at my eyes here, this distance, my eyes should be pitching in a little bit so I feel it's close, but not a whole lot. So that means we should try to get this space to be a little narrower than the half width. And that's why I'm showing my half width here on the screen. So what I do is I just take my fingers up, I pick the space of the frame width, then I move it into the thing, and then I drag the convergence over on the right side of the screen. And that moves these two images so I get them a little bit close. They shouldn't be the exact half width of or the exact frame width. They should be a little bit closer because it's tighter. But we can adjust it that way. So the picture we took here, they may be like out too far because they're too close, and you can see how the eyes are basically shooting past this finger here. These two eyes would be crazy cross-eyed, but what I can do, I can take the two images and I can twist them a little bit so that we bring it out and it's comfortable for the audience. You need to play with that. Okay, having said that, I went out here and I took some video of the old Pac Bell, I think, phone booth. Somebody already stole the phone, but I mean, what is a pay coin phone anyway? Everybody has a cell phone these days. So I did this shot two ways. The one way is way out here, and then the other way is one in here. So here you see it taken with the wide angle, and you should see that it's a little harder to see. And then we're gonna cut to the narrow shot, and with the narrow shot, you can see that it is easier to see it at the closer distance. But you can see we have a wide shot here, and then to see these flowers up close, I decided to try to narrow the two lenses. So that is the advantage of this, and it's really one of the most exciting things to happen in 180 VR cameras, probably since, well, the last 5 years. Because this is the first camera where you as a camera guy, a photographer, are able to make some decisions, like you're on a table and you want to see my water bottle at this distance and the people in the background. Scoot it in a little bit, you can tweak the things, but if you're not needing it, you just shoot it with it normally. And I was trying to figure out an easy way to get this back, and I kept looking at it because he prints a scale on here. But it turns out this thing that comes, he made this really cool lens cap. And if you grab the moving lens first and the second, by the time it clicks, you have centered the lens. Now all you have to do is tighten the screw, and it is back to a normal camera with the locked in place screw down here. That's it. Well, I think that's really all you need to know about this camera. I do want to bring up a couple of things that I've seen. CAF has been shipping a bunch of these testers out, and there's a lot of people that don't all of them do a lot of stuff with these cameras, talking about them. The biggest problem with this camera is it drops frames if the bandwidth gets saturized. If there's too much moving data, like huge moving tree canopy, then it starts dropping frames. It's not ideal. Now, image quality wise, Tree Ultra is a much more competent camera in terms of dynamic range. Frame rate is rock solid. I have never managed to drop a frame with this thing, and it's pretty solid. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I was trying to do this quickly tonight. Finally, everybody, please send a petition to our friends at SLAM. I love the SLAM camera. It is an amazingly cool form factor. You can stick it kind of in your, well, very big pocket. But I love the tablet interface. The one thing I don't love is this particular camera has variable frame rate. And also, I am seeing videos from other people who has bought one of these shipping versions, and it appears to me that those cameras also have variable frame rate. That is a huge problem, because if you have a 60 frame per second editing project and you decide to stick this content into the 60 or 30 frame per second project, but this one varies the frame rate from 20 fluidly up to maybe 40 frames per second, you're going to see that it's going to skip frames because they don't fit into the project. So if you're going to edit this, you definitely need to be able to select 24, 30, 50, 60, 70, whatever frame rate is appropriate. Please contact the people at Xcam and tell them to make sure they get that included, because that is a huge deal to really make these cameras super productive. Other than that, it's a cool camera. I like it. And yeah, nothing wrong with that. It is still, they do need to get the frame rate down. I am convinced they have the skills to do it. And with that, it's one of the cooler cameras on the market. So that's about it. This one here, thank you to Siyang for letting me play with it. It is a tester, and I know he has already improved this design. I do think you should check out some of his sample videos. He has a whole bunch. And if, of course, go to the Facebook group, link here in the description, for more information about this. You can also do the mod yourself. He will ship this out, the entire body, together with an instruction video how to do this, which is really pretty straightforward. I did one of them and I managed to not break the camera, which I consider being a fair result. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please click subscribe and share the video and click like and all that stuff. Leave comments, let me know what you think and what should be done differently. Thank you so much for watching.